Hi, today we're going to make a relatively easy meal out of leftovers. So here I have some chicken from that soup I made earlier this week. I have some broth. There's some mixed vegetable. I have puff pastry, a stick of butter, and of course your very basic seasoning: salt, pepper, onion, and garlic powder. So we're going to start off by making the filling for our chicken pot pie. I also forgot to add that you definitely need some flour in order to thicken up the gravy, which we're going to start off. You also want to make sure your oven is preheating to 375 degrees. Now that this is hot, we're going to throw the butter in there. And we're going to drop the temperature or else it's going to turn into clarified butter, which is not what you want for this recipe. And we're going to let it melt with movie magic. Alright, now that this is ready, we are going to throw some flour in here and mix that together. More flour than this, but movie magic. Alright, I put more flour in here and I'm going to mix this all together. Try to make sure it doesn't lump up. And we have to cook this flour. Which I will be doing the rest of this off screen. I had to add more flour off screen, but this is more or less that consistency that you want for your roux before you start adding in liquid. In this case, I'm going to be adding that chicken broth from before. And just know if your broth is ever congealed, that means you did a pretty good job on it. So I'm going to go ahead and add some of this broth up here and mix it together. And you want to make sure that your broth and your roux blend pretty good together. Oh, my oven's done preheating. Nice. I've been adding more broth as I'm mixing it together. You want to make sure that it's like a medium thick consistency because you don't want it to be super duper soupy, but you also don't want it to be way too thin. Or it's not going to really do what you want it to do. So I think I used about almost the whole thing. There's still some broth over there. And I'm going to keep stirring. So, alright, we're done with our gravy. I just decided to add some onion and garlic powder, salt, not too much though because I used salted butter, and of course pepper. And now I'm fixing to add the chicken in. Alright, now we're going to stir in our meat. Now that the chicken is mixed in, we will add our vegetables. Alright, now we are going to mix in these vegetables. Alright, now that our mix is ready, let's go ahead and get our pot pie base ready. I'm going to take my cute baking dish and we're going to spray it with butter. And then we're going to add our puff pastry sheets up there. One of the sheets, I cut a piece off and I'm going to put it down here. And then I'm going to put the filling in there. I went ahead and put the filling in and I also went ahead and put the top in. And we'll go ahead and pop that in the oven. I will wait a couple, I think 20 to 30 minutes for this to be ready. So if you're wondering what I did with the rest of it, I made a mini pot pie with the leftover pastry. I'm trying to pre-make some food before I give birth to my son, since I know my husband is not a big fan of eating a lot of frozen dinners or having them too often, so I'm just making him a little pot pie that him and our kid or I can eat later. Also, someone told me you can cook in these, so we're about to test that. Alright, so our pot pie is finished. We're going to give it a few minutes to cool down and settle. And the other one isn't quite finished yet, but it will probably be there in the next 10 minutes. Alrighty, I sat there and I waited for this to cool down for 10 minutes. And I have a piece ready cooling down for my son. And this one is also finished. Anyway, I hope you guys like the recipe and enjoy.